All right, so are you ready to swap that 9 to 5 for swaying palm trees and those amazing turquoise waters?
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Koh Samui's calling your name, and you're ready to find that perfect little slice of paradise.
Absolutely.
We are here to help you figure out the Samui property market,
Yeah.
using, of course, all that fantastic research you've already done.
Right.
Get ready for some serious aha moments, because you might be surprised. Did you know there's actually a time where prices drop?
Oh, yeah.
And you get to, pick from more properties?
More choices, yeah. That's the beauty of Koh Samui. There really is a perfect time to buy for everyone. But you got to understand the island's rhythm.
Right. Okay. So let's just dive right in. Your research mentions high season, December to February. I'm guessing that's when Koh Samui is just like at its most sparkle.
Exactly. Perfect weather. Right. The kind of weather that makes people want to escape the winter.
Makes sense.
And that means lots of tourists, which of course impacts the property market.
Of course, yeah. More tourists, more people want to rent places. So I'm
Mhm.
assuming that makes prices go up.
Yeah, you'll see a real premium on properties, especially those geared towards short-term rentals. Luxury villas, all the bells and whistles, gyms, saunas, all that. Your research actually flagged a few going for THB 7,990,000. Think about the kind of rental income during those peak months.
Wow. That's a lot of bet.
Yeah,
But okay, I guess high rewards often come with high stakes.
absolutely. High season means you're going to have a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're serious about buying during that time, you got to be ready to move fast.
Yeah, probably not the best time for people who like to, take it easy.
Right.
So speaking of taking it easy, your research mentions the quote-unquote low season, May to October.
hmm
Is it really as low as it sounds?
Well, low might not be the best word. It's more like Koh Samui's best-kept secret. Think quiet beaches, less crowded, a chance to see the real Koh Samui.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But how does that, translate to the property market?
This is where it gets interesting. Fewer tourists, demand goes down, and prices soften. You might even find some sellers willing to negotiate, go even lower than the asking price, especially if they haven't gotten any rentals for the season.
Okay, so you get more for your money, and you don't have to rush to close the deal. But are there any downsides to buying during the low season?
A few things to think about. First, you might not have as many properties to choose from. Sellers don't always list during this time, they're not going to get as much.
Carrots.
So you got to start your search early, be ready to jump when you find something good.
Okay, so the early bird gets the worm, even in paradise, huh?
It's true.
What about rental income? I guess wouldn't be as good as high season, right?
Yeah, you're right. If you mainly want to rent out your place for short stays, high season is definitely better.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking long term or you want to use the property yourself for part of the year, then maybe the lower income during low season isn't such a big deal.
Right, it's all about figuring out your goals. So high season for quick returns,
Yeah.
low season for the long game. Okay, got it. But your research also talks about peak season. Is that just another word for high season?
No, not really. It does overlap, but peak season, usually December to March, that's when you get the absolute most tourists.
Oh, wow.
Like high season times 10, demand peaks, and so do the prices.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to ride that wave, maximize your rentals, that's the time, right?
That's the
No
time.
matter when you buy, though, one thing your research makes super clear is that you got to start looking early.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about it. Wouldn't you rather be relaxing on the beach, watching the sunrise, knowing you have plenty of time to find the perfect place, than, rushing around at the last minute?
Oh, yeah, much better. But how do you actually start early, especially if you don't live on Koh Samui yet?
You need a local expert. A good real estate agent is key. They know what's happening, the best areas. They sometimes even know about properties before they're officially listed.
Oh, wow, that's great. So it's like having a guide, but you also can't just rely on the agent, right? You still have to do your own homework.
You got it. You've already done a great job with your research. Now it's time to take it to the next level. Start looking at listings online, read reviews, maybe even take some virtual tours, get a feel for the types of properties and the areas that you like.
It's like window shopping for your dream home, but in paradise.
Exactly.
And speaking of seeing things in person, what about actually visiting properties? Do you have to be on Koh Samui to really get a sense of a place?
It definitely helps. If you're serious about buying, it's a good idea to plan a trip. You can experience the island, see the different areas, and get a real feel for the properties.
And I'm imagining, walking through that amazing 5-bedroom sea view villa in Choing Mon that your research mentioned. THB, 85 bells in all that space, the private pool, the gardens. Oh man, living the dream. Okay, okay, back to reality for a second. Let's go back to the different seasons and how they affect the market. Your research talks about 4 seasons in Koh Samui: low, high, rainy, and peak. It's like Koh Samui has something for everyone, right?
It really does. Each season is different, and understanding those differences is really important.
So let's dive deeper into each of these seasons, see how they shape real estate. We've already talked about the low season, the bargains, the quiet vibe. What else can you tell us about this quieter side of Koh Samui?
Well, beyond the money you save, low season gives you a unique chance to really connect with the island. Everything slows down, the beaches are less crowded, you can really feel the serenity.
Sounds amazing. And then you've got high season where everything picks up.
hmm
What should buyers keep in mind if they want to enter the market during this busy time?
Well, remember, high season means high demand, and that often means a lot of competition. You need to be ready to act quickly, you might end up in bidding wars, you might even have to compromise on some of your preferences if you want to secure a property.
So it's a trade-off, right? High rental income, but also a lot of stress and competition.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, got it. But what about the rainy season? I feel like that gets overlooked a lot. What kind of impact does it have on the property market?
That's a great question. Some buyers do avoid the rainy season, but it can actually be a great opportunity for those who are willing to look beyond the obvious.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, first of all, let's get rid of this idea that the rainy season is just awful. Yes, it rains, often in short bursts, but it's not like a constant downpour. In fact, the rain often makes things cooler, and it turns the island into this lush green paradise.
So it's a different kind of beauty, a different side of Koh Samui.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about property prices and buying opportunities during the rainy season?
You might find some great deals. Fewer buyers mean sellers might be more willing to negotiate, especially those who haven't sold their properties in the previous seasons.
So it's a chance for savvy investors to get a bargain while everyone else is chasing the sun.
That's right.
But of course, there are always risks, right? What should buyers watch out for when considering a purchase during the rainy season?
Due diligence is so important. You need a good inspection, especially for moisture or water damage. You want to be sure the property is well maintained and can handle those occasional heavy rains.
So a little extra caution is needed, but for those who are prepared, the rainy season could reveal some hidden gems.
Definitely.
And finally, peak season. We know that's all about maximizing rental income. Any other insights about buying during this high demand period?
It's all about timing and preparation. If you want to take advantage of peak season, your property has to be ready well in advance. That means making sure everything's in tip-top shape, marketing it well to get those high-paying tourists, maybe even hiring a property manager to handle bookings.
So it's not just buying the property, it's having a plan to make the most of peak season.
Right.
And speaking of different types of properties, your research mentions a 6-bedroom villa with a private pool listed for THB 11,800,000.
Ah, yes.
That's amazing.
That's a great example of the luxury you can find in Koh Samui. But it also shows how much seasonal changes can impact prices.
It seems like every season has its own opportunities and challenges. Knowing how to navigate them is key to finding the perfect time to buy. But before we move on, I'm curious about those off-plan properties. It's an interesting concept, but I don't think I fully understand it.
Off-plan properties, or pre-construction properties as they're sometimes called, are an interesting option for buyers who want to get in at a lower price.
Okay.
Want to dive into that, Nick?
Yes, absolutely. Let's explore what off-plan properties are all about. Okay, off-plan properties, it sounds a bit like buying a dream before it's, actually built. What's the appeal?
It's like getting in early, right? You're basically buying based on plans and what they say it's going to be, and it could be way cheaper than buying a finished place.
I see, yeah, especially in Koh Samui where those finished luxury villas are like really expensive. But I guess there are also risks.
Definitely. It's not for everyone.
Uh-huh.
You got to think carefully about off-plan properties, do your research.
Okay, so let's start with the good stuff. What are the advantages of going off-plan?
Well, like we said, you pay less upfront. Your research says off-plan properties can be a lot cheaper than resale properties, sometimes 20% or even more.
Wow, that's a lot. It's like you're already ahead before you even move in.
Exactly. Imagine you get a beautiful off-plan villa for 20% less. While you wait for it to be built, property values go up all over the island.
Okay, yeah,
By the time it's done, your investment could be worth a whole lot more.
that's awesome. So off-plan can be a smart way to use those market trends to your advantage. Are there any other benefits besides the potential for, the price going up?
For those who want to customize their place, make it exactly how they like it, off-plan offers that chance.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the stage of construction, you might be able to change some of the design choices, finishes, even the layout
No,
sometimes.
that's not just buying a property. It's like creating your dream space. That's
Yeah.
so cool. I bet that's really appealing to buyers who want to make their Koh Samui home truly unique. But okay, let's talk about those risks. What should buyers be careful about?
One of the biggest risks is delays.
Oh, yeah.
Construction can get behind schedule for all sorts of reasons, like unexpected problems on the site, not enough materials, permits taking too long, things like
I
that.
bet that's super frustrating.
It is. For
Yeah.
people who want to move in quickly or start renting the place out, delays can be a real problem.
And I imagine it messes with your budget too if you were planning on a certain move-in date.
Absolutely.
What other things should potential buyers watch out for?
Quality control. Even with good developers, sometimes the final product isn't as good as they promised. The finishes might not be great, there might be problems with the construction, it might just not be what you expected.
Oh, that's a bit scary.
Yeah.
How can buyers make sure that doesn't happen?
Do your research.
Okay.
Really investigate the developer before you buy anything. Look at their past projects. See if they finish on time and within budget. Read reviews from other buyers.
So it's like checking references for your builder.
Right.
Makes sense. Anything else buyers can do to, lower those risks?
A strong contract is so important. It needs to clearly say when payments are due, when construction will be finished, what the specs are, and what happens if there are delays or quality issues.
Good point.
Don't be afraid to get legal advice to make sure you're protected.
Right. A lawyer can definitely give you peace of mind. But even beyond construction and quality, there's the bigger picture, right? The real estate market is always changing.
Hmm.
How can those changes affect off-plan investments?
That's a great point. The market is unpredictable. Interest rates, currency values, even the global economy, all of that can affect it. If the market goes down while your property is being built, it might be worth less when it's finished.
So it's a risk, right? You're hoping the market will stay strong or even go up. But on the other hand, if it goes way up, you could make even more money than you expected.
Exactly. It's all about balancing the potential gains and the risks.
Right, right. And your research has a great example of how well off-plan can work. That beachfront villa in Chiang Noi,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
the one that was originally THB 44,500,000, but sold for THB 31,500,000. 3 bedrooms, private pool, amazing discount. That buyer must be so happy.
They got a great deal.
Mhm.
It shows that timing and smart decisions are key in the off-plan market. But of course, not every investment will be that successful.
Right, it's not a sure thing. But it's definitely an interesting option for those who are okay with some risk and are looking for potential profit. Before we move on, can you explain how payments usually work with off-plan? Do you pay everything up front, or is it different?
Usually, you pay in stages as the construction progresses. You make a down payment to secure the property, then more payments as they hit certain milestones.
Okay, so you're kind of paying as your dream home gets built. That might be easier for some people than paying everything at once. But when do you actually become the owner?
You get ownership when construction is finished and you've made the final payment. Until then, the developer owns it. This is another reason why a good contract is so important.
So you're investing in the future, but you don't actually own it until that future arrives. Got it. We've talked about a lot. Lower prices, customization, delays, quality issues, and market going up or down. It seems like off-plan is kind of a balancing act.
That's a great way to put it. It's not a decision to make lightly,
Right.
but if you do your research, understand the risks, and choose a good developer, off-plan can be a great way to own a piece of paradise in Koh Samui.
It's all about matching your investment strategy with how much risk you're comfortable with and what you want your Koh Samui dream to be. Speaking of which, we talked about the economy earlier. Your research mentions how important it is to understand what's happening in the world economy when you're investing in property. What are some things to keep in mind, especially in a global market like real estate?
You're right, it's not just about Koh Samui. What's happening in the world can affect things there too. Interest rates, currency exchange rates, inflation, all of those can have an impact.
Can you give us some examples of how those things might affect the Koh Samui property market?
Sure. Let's take interest rates. If interest rates go up all over the world, it becomes more expensive to borrow money.
Okay.
That means fewer people can afford to buy property, and that can make prices go down. But if interest rates go down, borrowing becomes cheaper, more people can buy, and prices might go up.
So it's like a seesaw. Higher interest rates, fewer buyers, prices down. Lower
Right.
interest rates, more buyers, prices up.
Mhm.
Okay, got it. What about currency exchange rates? How do those play into it?
Exchange rates are really important for people buying from other countries. If your currency gets weaker compared to the Thai baht, it'll cost you more to buy in Koh Samui. But if your currency gets stronger, you can buy more.
So if you're not from Thailand, you have to pay attention to those exchange rates. It adds another layer of complexity, but it could also mean more profit if the exchange rate moves in your favor. What about inflation? How does that fit in?
Inflation can be a problem because it means your money buys less over time. Prices go up for everything, and that includes property. So inflation can make it more expensive to buy in Koh Samui.
So even if you're just holding on to cash, inflation is eating away at it. It's important to invest wisely and protect your savings. It seems like buying real estate isn't just about understanding the local market, you also have to keep up with what's happening in the global economy.
That's right. It's complicated, but the rewards can be great.
We've definitely covered a lot today, from high season to off-plan properties and global economics. It's clear that buying property in Koh Samui isn't a simple thing.
It's not. You need to plan carefully, do your research, and understand what your goals are and how much risk you're willing to take.
Right, right. But for those who are prepared, Koh Samui is an amazing place to live with sunshine, beautiful scenery, and maybe even a good return on your investment.
It's all about finding that balance between your dream and what the market is doing.
But before we wrap up, we need to talk about something really important, choosing the right location and type of property.
Ah, yes, that's where the real fun starts.
Uh,
Shall we explore Koh Samui's different neighborhoods and all the amazing properties they have to offer?
Absolutely. Let's help our listeners find their perfect piece of paradise. Stay tuned.
Okay, so location, location, location. Koh Samui is not just beaches, right? It's got all these different neighborhoods, each with its own, personality. Exactly. Picking the right spot is key. It's about finding the area that, matches your lifestyle, what you like, what you want out of your Koh Samui experience.
I'm already imagining myself like with a coconut on some peaceful beach, but I know there's got to be more to Koh Samui than that. Where should we start?
Your research mentions a few key places, like Choang, that's the island's heart. Busy nightlife, tons of restaurants, shops, and of course, that famous Choang Beach.
So Choing is for people who want to be like in the middle of everything, all the action.
Yeah, if you like that energy, that's the place to be.
Okay, what if you're looking for something a little more, I don't know, chill?
Then you might like Beaufort.
Mm-hmm.
It's got this charming village feel. With the Fisherman's Village, really historic. You'll find boutique shops, cute cafes, and a really relaxed vibe by the beach.
Sounds perfect, but Koh Samui is a pretty big island, right? Are there any other cool areas that are maybe a bit different?
Definitely. Lamai, for example, is a bit more off the beaten track. Beautiful beach, laid-back atmosphere, and it's known for those amazing rock formations, the Grandfather and Grandmother Rocks.
Oh, wow. So you get a bit of nature and peace and quiet all in one. It seems like every area has its own special mix of things to do and like a vibe. But besides the neighborhood, we should also think about the kind of property that works best for our listener, right?
Yeah, that's a big part of it, too. Koh Samui has all sorts of properties. Luxury villas on the beach, cozy bungalows in the hills, modern condos, you name it.
Okay, let's break it down. We've talked about those incredible villas, private pools, amazing ocean views. They're like the ultimate Koh Samui luxury. Who are those best for?
Villas are great for people who want privacy, lots of space, and, just that luxurious feel. They usually have multiple bedrooms, big living areas, private pools, beautiful gardens, perfect for families, groups of friends, or anyone who likes to entertain.
It's like your own private resort.
Pretty much.
But I'm guessing they're also like the most expensive option.
Yeah, villas tend to be the priciest,
Yeah.
but they can also bring in a lot of rental income, especially during peak season.
Okay, so for those who are, serious about investing and want that high-end lifestyle, a villa could be the way to go. What about something a bit smaller, a bit more affordable?
Bungalows are a good option. They're charming, often cheaper, and usually have one or two bedrooms, a cozy living space, and sometimes a small garden or a terrace.
Sounds perfect for couples, solo travelers, or anyone who wants to really connect with the island's nature.
Yeah, they're really nice.
What about condos? Are they popular in Koh Samui?
They're getting more and more popular, especially with people who want a modern lifestyle, something easy to maintain. They often have things like swimming pools, gyms, security, and they can be more affordable than villas.
So good for those who want convenience, safety, and the ability to, just lock up and leave without any worries. It seems like Koh Samui has something for everyone, no matter what your budget is or what you're looking for. But with all these choices, how can someone narrow it down and find that perfect property?
It goes back to those questions we talked about earlier. What kind of lifestyle do you want? What are your must-haves? What's your budget? And most importantly, how do you see yourself living on Koh Samui?
So if you want a busy social scene and all the amenities, a condo in Chewang could be perfect. If you want peace and quiet and a taste of local life, a bungalow in Beaufort might be better. And if you dream of privacy, luxury, and maybe a little adventure, a villa in Lamai could be just the thing.
Exactly. It's all about matching what you want with what's available. Don't be afraid to look around, visit different properties, and trust your gut feeling. Sometimes the best properties are the ones you find unexpectedly.
I love that. It's like a treasure hunt. But before we let our listeners go off on their own Koh Samui adventure, let's recap what we've learned today.
Sounds good. We talked about the different seasons in Koh Samui, what each one is like for buying property. We explored off-plan properties, the good and the bad. And we looked at all the different neighborhoods and types of properties, all the things that make Koh Samui such a special place.
We've given our listeners the information they need to make smart decisions, but ultimately, the best time to buy in Koh Samui is different for everyone. It's about finding the time that works for you, your goals, how much risk you're comfortable with, and what you want your island life to be.
So thinking about all that, which season in Koh Samui feels like the right time for you to make that move?
And as you start searching, remember to enjoy the process. Explore the villages, walk along those beautiful beaches, try the local food, and let Koh Samui work its magic.
Who knows? You might find something even better than you imagined.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the Koh Samui property market. We hope you found it helpful, inspiring, and maybe even a little life-changing. Happy house hunting.